Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking what could easily be a pretty dry lesson on medical vocabulary and turning it into a real life cinematic scenario. We're going to walk step by step through one of the most practical and, let's be honest, stressful situations you can ever prepare for, navigating a doctor's appointment in an English speaking environment. So, if you've ever felt that wave of anxiety about not having the exact right words when you aren't feeling well, you are in exactly the right place.
Picture this scenario for a second. You're traveling, maybe you're studying abroad, or you've just moved to a new country for work. You wake up, and immediately, you just know something is way off. Your head is absolutely pounding. You're burning up with a fever, and suddenly, you're faced with this really high stakes reality. You need to see a doctor, and you need to communicate your symptoms in a different language. Do you know exactly what to say? Well, let's dive right in and find out by following someone who is going through this exact situation.
So, meet our protagonist for this little case study, Anna. It's a Monday morning, and Anna wakes up feeling completely drained. She literally doesn't even have the energy to get out of bed, and she knows right away that she isn't just tired from a busy weekend. We're going to follow Anna's journey from this very moment, all the way through to her recovery, to see exactly how she handles the whole shebang. All right, let's freeze frame the story right here, as Anna has her first internal realization. She checks her temperature and thinks, oh no, I have a fever. Boom. This is our very first crucial piece of medical vocabulary. It's a super simple phrase using the structure I have a, followed by the symptom. But what does that actually mean in basic medical terms?
A fever is simply a high body temperature, right? But it is absolutely one of the most common symptoms you will ever need to report to a healthcare professional. When your body is fighting off an illness, your temperature goes up. Anna knows this is a clear red flag that she needs some professional help. But, as you probably know, a fever usually doesn't crash the party all by itself.
Anna's fever brings along a whole cluster of other symptoms. And notice just how simple these everyday words are when you break down what they mean. She has a headache, which is literally just pain in the head. She has a sore throat, meaning pain in the throat. She has a cough, which is that repeated sound you make when your throat or lungs are irritated. And finally, she is just plain tired or exhausted. These are the exact words Anna will need to use. She doesn't need to throw around complex medical jargon. These fundamental, everyday words perfectly hit the nail on the head. Okay, let's hit play again. Anna knows she needs a pro, so she takes action. Booking an appointment is just reserving your specific spot to see the doctor. The steps here are super straightforward. First, she calls the clinic, in this case, the Green Hill Medical Clinic. Second, she uses the magic phrase, I'd like to make an appointment. That right there is your golden ticket. It's polite, it's clear, and it's exactly what the receptionist is waiting to hear. Finally, she confirms the time they offer, which is 10 o'clock, and agrees to get there 10 minutes early. Fast forward to 9:50 a.m. Anna arrives at the quiet clinic. Now, pay attention to the natural rhythm of the dialogue here. When you walk up to the reception desk, the person who welcomes you, the receptionist, is going to guide the conversation. They'll ask things like, do you have an appointment? And what's your name? And Anna responds simply and clearly, yes, I do. My name is Anna Brown. The receptionist then politely asks her to have a seat. It is a very predictable, highly structured back and forth, which is great for us. So while Anna is chilling in the waiting room, flipping through a magazine and waiting for her name to be called, let's pause for a quick knowledge check from our source material. Someone calls Anna's name, brings her into an exam room, and checks her temperature and blood pressure before the doctor even arrives. Who is this person? Is it A, the pharmacist, B, the nurse, or C, the waiter? Well, if you guessed the waiter, you might be at a restaurant. The answer is B, the nurse. You got it. A nurse is this incredibly vital healthcare worker who helps patients and usually checks those essential vital signs like temperature and blood pressure, just making sure you're prepped and ready before the doctor steps in. Once the nurse finishes up, it's time for the main event. All right, let's dive into this crucial interaction. The doctor walks in, and honestly, the dialogue here is incredibly standard, which is fantastic news for you as a learner. The doc opens up with, what seems to be the problem? Anna replies with a perfect opening statement, I don't feel well. After she lists out those symptoms we talked about, the doctor asks the most important follow-up question. How long have you felt like this? Anna's response is incredibly precise. She says, since yesterday morning. Using the word since followed by a time completely clears up her timeline for the doctor. I actually want to pause the story for just a second because I really need to emphasize these phrases. Let's break down the structure. I don't feel well is your universal starting point. Use it anytime. Then you use that I have a structure for nouns, like I have a fever.
For something that's been happening constantly, you say, I've been coughing. And for specific pain, just say, my throat hurts or my stomach hurts. Seriously, if you memorize nothing else from this explainer today, commit these phrases to memory. They are the essential building blocks for getting the help you need.
Okay, jumping back to Anna. The doctor asks a few more questions, just confirming she has a headache but no stomach pain. He listens to her breathing. He checks her throat. He gives her a kind smile. So, based on everything we've just covered regarding her fever, her cough, her sore throat, and her headache, what do you think the official diagnosis is? Let's see what the doc tells her.
The doctor says, you have a cold. Anna immediately asks if it's serious, and the doctor totally reassures her that no, it is not. Talk about a massive relief for Anna, right? And it just goes to show how a super stressful situation can be quickly de-escalated just by understanding a few simple words of diagnosis. But the appointment isn't quite over yet. The doctor has to tell her how to actually get better. So the absolutely crucial point here is listening carefully to the doctor's orders. These are incredibly common instructions you're going to hear in almost any basic medical appointment. First, get some rest. Second, drink plenty of water. And third, take this medicine twice a day. Notice how direct and clear that language is? You do not need a medical degree to understand this. You just need to catch those simple, actionable verbs. Rest, drink, and take. Now, to pull off that last order, taking the medicine, the doctor hands Anna something very important before she leaves, a prescription. A prescription is essentially just a note or an official order from the doctor that allows you to go get specific medicine. You literally cannot get certain medications without this crucial piece of paper.
So, Anna says her thank yous. The doctor wishes her well, saying, I hope you feel better soon. And she heads out of the Green Hill Medical Clinic. But she can't just go straight home to bed quite yet. She's got her prescription in hand. Where does she actually need to go next to get her medicine?
She goes to the pharmacy. A pharmacy is just a specific store or even a specific counter inside a grocery store where you buy medicine. Anna hands over her prescription, buys her medicine, and is finally ready to head home and kick off her recovery. Actually, scratch that. Before we look at her recovery, there's one more number we need to highlight. During the appointment, Anna very wisely asked, how many days should I stay home? The doctor told her 2 or 3 days. It's incredibly important to ask for these specific timelines so you know exactly how to plan your life, your work, or your classes around getting better. Now here is the positive payoff of navigating this situation correctly. Let's trace Anna's road to recovery. Day 1, Monday. She goes to the clinic, visits the pharmacy, and spends the rest of the day planted on the sofa with warm tea, her medicine, and a cozy blanket. By day 2, Tuesday, she's already feeling a little better. And by day 4, Thursday, boom, completely healthy again. She smiles and thinks, I'm so glad I went to the doctor. A totally stressful situation turned into a straightforward success story.
As we wrap up this explainer today, let's distill the core lessons from Anna's experience. Honestly, the biggest takeaway? You do not need perfect English to go to the doctor. Simple, clear sentences are 100% sufficient. Just stick to that I have a structure. Know your basic symptom vocabulary, words like headache, fever, sore throat. Always be ready to answer how long by using the word since. And finally, just make sure you listen closely to and follow the doctor's advice.
We've broken down the vocabulary, we've walked through the back and forth dialogue, and you've seen firsthand just how straightforward the whole process really is. You are equipped with the knowledge now. But the real question is this. You have the vocabulary, but will you have the courage to speak up the next time you feel sick abroad? Please don't let the fear of a language barrier keep you from taking care of your health. Practice these phrases, trust in your ability, and remember that simple words can literally save the day. Keep practicing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.